Check, check. Here we go.
A few seconds here.
I'm planning on this just being a no-cut video too. We'll
Take
just
that monitor one level down.
beep, beep.
Good. Okay, good.
This one?
That one's fine. Okay. And ready when you are.
Cool. Hey y'all. I just sat down for a day of filming with Steven behind the camera, and I went to just kind of share my intentions for content in 2025 and visions, etc. And I realized that's probably kind of interesting to some of you. So just no cuts. I'm just going to share content strategy thinking, what I'm learning about content, with the intention of actually inviting you into the effort, into the mission that I have. And so I'll start off like with the anchor mission. Anything I post, anything I create, anything I share is super anchored to this, this like really clear idea, vision, mission of creating 50 million conversations that make connection easy over the next decade. And part of this was sparked, we did, the We Connect cards. We did like an informal research project and surveyed people who have the cards and asked them on average how many conversations do those questions start? How many conversations did their one deck of cards start? And on average, the average answer was like 53 conversations, just a guesstimate, that never otherwise would have happened. And there's something really cool about that. And the fact that there's 100,000 plus decks floating around the world and a bunch of other tools and books, it's like pretty easily calculate that or extrapolate that to, in the past decade, having started 5 million plus conversations. And so I have an interest not in 10xing revenue, not in 10xing view count, not in 10xing subscribers, but in 10xing the impact, the conversations that we create that never otherwise would have happened. And so as I share like my strategy and thought for doing that, I'm bringing you into the fold and inviting you into this. I think that if you choose to watch this, one of the things, I mean, it's an unplanned video. I'm basically just explaining to Steven what I'm gonna do this year and what we're gonna film today. But I think the value you might get out of it is like a really cool behind the scenes look. You're in my office, you'll kind of see what I'm thinking. So here's how we're gonna start. So up to this point, and you'll see across my YouTube channel, we've had really like well-produced videos shot on a nice camera and a nice scene with well-lit places, but not a lot of behind the scenes. And I'm super proud of what we created. Is like, I think it's, we created actually good, free and accessible to everybody content, highly produced in relatively bite-sized format compared to like a 50-minute lecture on how to ask powerful questions. Is like, here's a 5 to 12-minute tutorial on how to do that. So I'm super proud of that. And we're gonna continue that on an every week, every other week kind of cadence throughout the year. And the format of the titles will be questions that people ask me, either that we're working with in our community, online, etc. You who just respond, drop a comment in this video and tell me what future topics you'd like to see. That's gonna shape the strategy kind of continued. In addition to that, I had a little idea. So I had this realization that for me, shorts, like this format, like 60-second infinite doom scroll on your computer laptop, I really don't like. So a couple years ago, I did an experiment where like, I just created 90 of them, see if we could make the world a little bit better. And it went, fine. And I think part of the reason it went fine, and part of my philosophy of why shorts do well from a human psychology level, is that usually they're filmed on an iPhone in like whatever scene, lighting, context you're in, without too much preparation, with a mic visible, like they're low production. And so I actually want to just kind of invite you into my life a little bit more in active thoughts. And so what I am doing today, I'm gonna film kind of throughout our long form videos. I took the 20 most popular YouTube titles on the channel so far, so the videos with the most views, and we're gonna record a 1-minute short version of all 20 of those videos on an iPhone. And the idea is just to get you like really quick hit valuable stuff. So if you want an awesome icebreaker for a meeting and you just say, if you need an idea quick, you don't have the 12 minutes to watch, you can just jump to shorts and get boom, 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 really quick hit ideas. So that I'm super excited about. The other bit is just kind of, only if this is interesting to you, this whole mission of creating 50 million conversations that make connection easy. We've divided that into 4. So one of my focuses for 2025 specifically is to learn. I just want to like learn how the internet works, what videos do well, what videos don't. Do a lot of experimentation with our stuff to really create more of these, largely through our tools and products and things like that. And so Q1, we're gonna be working on a new, like much faster, easier to use website. This, I'm like, frankly, very excited and very trepid about creating this Connector Lab school that will be an active like online community with events where you can connect with other people using the tools, other professional facilitators, trainers, etc., who are really working on designing their content for contribution. This terrifies me, having never run in the last 10 years. I'll say this like terrifies me, having never run a paid ad other than on Amazon. I think because I actually care about starting conversations, we're going to start experimenting with what happens when we run a paid ad, inviting people to check out the connection toolkit or some of our stuff. So we're going to try that. We're going to partner with a creative agency on the website and some of that, hoping to make that content, in my mind, an ad should actually add value to somebody. And so what we'll be advertising is like teaching. So here's a really cool idea. Oh, also, if you want 100 more ideas, here's the connection toolkit. So this is kind of my thinking there. And then the last thing, I'm going to walk you over here. Oh, and in a video, if you see me wearing different shirts, we're probably just filming a whole bunch of stuff for the first quarter of 2025 here, and I'm just going to be swapping between my purples. So just a sneak preview, if you saw on that mind map, we'll also be launching the sequel to We Connect Cards. So this is really amazing at connecting people to each other over their past, their perspectives, opinions, stories, etc. And in other words, to use Will's language and subtitle, the cards are designed to create conversations that matter. But Will, one day, so Will passed away about 3 years ago. If you're new to the club here, Will and I co-founded We and Me, co-wrote Ask Powerful Questions, and worked together for 10 years. And so obviously that was a major loss, but when he died, I was reflecting on just time we shared together. And one of the memories that came up was we were co-giving a keynote for this group, Conscious Capitalism. So 800 business leaders, and Will misspoke the subtitle of Ask Powerful Questions and said, Ask Powerful Questions, conversations that create matter. And I just thought, Will's dyslexic, like, whatever. And I kind of just wrote it off. And then it hit me like, holy smokes, actually, some conversations that we have very much edit the future and allow us to quite literally talk our way into a more compelling, interesting tomorrow. And so the sequel of the We Connect cards is this future-focused edition that is designed to help people talk their way into tomorrow. And so it's really, really, really lovely. You'll hear probably heaps more about it, but I'll give you the littlest preview. So on the back of the cards, probably should have prepared this a little bit more. On the back of the cards are 60 essentially ingredients for creating a more compelling future. So my idea was, how can I make this deck almost as easy? How can I help this deck create the future by making it almost as easy as cracking open a fortune cookie? And so on the back of the cards are this kind of cool illustrated word, or what I would say an ingredient for a more interesting, compelling, meaningful future. And in the back is a question that breathes those words to life. So you'll see a whole heap more about that. There are so many creative ways to use them. I've been facilitating with the deck already, the prototype. This is just the pre-production sample. And when we have the pallets of them arrive, you will know. Super psyched about that. And what else do I want to say? Welcome to We and Me. I feel like part of the intent of sharing this video, and I told Stephen before we recorded, that I'm done marketing. I'm done like sharing, like, hey, trying to get people convinced into the fact of these tools. I'm so much more interested in just actually inviting you to the mission, inviting you to the process. Like, come help me create 50 million conversations that make connection easy. I think that many of you watching are doing this naturally anyway. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. We'll go back to the computer real quick. So up to this point, so that my YouTube strategy, I don't know how much you've picked up on this, is, to some degree, the reason that I post videos that have the word icebreaker or team building or energizer or group activity in them, all of those words actually give me hives a little bit, but the reason that I film videos on them is because that is what people are searching for. And so I am meeting people where they're at. I'm comfortable meeting people in that entry point language and saying in the first 10 seconds of the video, icebreaker kind of gives me hives. Here's a much better way to think about it. Connection before content. And so thinking about that strategy, most of my videos have been on those topics and related topics. And I'm often saying, if you want to download free printable versions of the cards, check the link in the description. And this time, instead of that, I'm going to try to invite folks on a little bit more of a journey to learn more before downloading something, buying something, whatever else. Because the learning is more important to creating conversations. Because if you actually get a really good idea, like I just got a National Geographic magazine, it was pictures of the year, and it immediately sparked of like, that's an awesome icebreaker idea. Have everybody pull out their phone and find one of the more compelling, interesting, fun pictures of their year, and then share it. It's like a great end of the year sort of icebreaker. So the idea is, I want to share that idea, and then at the end of the video, instead of saying download free cards, blah, 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 I'm constantly pushing that. I want to say, check this video out where I really teach you like the main, most compelling strategy on how to do icebreakers no matter what your context is. And so, and this is purely if you're like creating content, you're interested in this, maybe this is going too deep in the weeds, but picture, I don't have a good example of this or a visual example of this. So picture one core, so in a batch of 10 videos, picture one core piece of content that's like the little mini master's degree in connection before content, let's say. And then I'm gonna have 20 videos around that that are a little bit shorter, punchier, and the call to action will all be to watch this core video. So if you're watching this, you're like deep down the path of We and Me, and you've been following for a little while or whatever else. Feel free to watch that video over and over again, but just know that I'm directing people over and over to that video because I know that there are thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people every single month that are watching these videos for the first time. And so I want the intro to be like that hook, the quick National Geographic idea, but then I want them to actually learn the magic and power of connection before content. So yeah, if that's helpful. This is kind of fun to unpack. I haven't done behind the scenes in terms of my content and whatnot before. If you have questions, throw them in the comments. And to be frank, I may or may not respond to them. But I definitely, with this Connector Lab, Connector School thing that I'll be brewing, that is definitely a place where I'm going to be really deeply integrated, connecting with people. Steven, did that make sense? Have an awesome day.
Good. Awesome.
Awesome.